Now in life, I have a passion for working in the garden. I'm a master gardener in Bucks County. Had to take a 15-week course, and I have to maintain educational experience by going to lectures and also hands-on by volunteering to do work with the Master Gardeners, which is part of Penn State Extension School. I have an undergraduate degree from Rider University in education and marketing, and I have a master's degree from the University of Pennsylvania in organizational dynamics. As I mentioned before, I volunteer time as a master gardener, and that's what that's all about. And also I am a deacon in Doylestown Presbyterian Church, so I'm involved with my church, and I'm also a member of the seniors group there, and we run programs basically for the seniors, make them feel a part of the church and have meaningful activities for them. Next week we have a meeting with the seniors group. There'll be about 70 or 80 there, and there's going to be a speaker from Doylestown talking about the history of Doylestown. I'm also a part of Code Blue, which is a program in Bucks County to help the homeless. So during the month of December, January, February, and March, I work with the different churches. I volunteer as an intake person. And we have them spend the night at the church, and we feed them, interview them, find out what their needs are. Another thing I do when I'm not doing the intake is I'm a van attendant, so we go at different locations in the area of that church, and we pick up people that are homeless, and we drop them off at the church, and then in the morning come back and take them where they want to go back to. I'm very active in my gym. As I become a vintage adult, I want to stay in shape, so I belong to Cornerstone Fitness Center, and I try to get to the gym about 4 times a week. And I like to cut my own grass and work in the garden, but sometimes I need help, and it's always available. Okay, the last traveling, we're active in Doylestown Presbyterian Church, so we were in New Mexico last year working at a food pantry. And what we were doing is we're in a warehouse, we break the bulk and then put it into smaller quantities, and we give it to the poor Indians in New Mexico. North Wildwood, New Jersey. My wife was blessed to get her mother's home that had been in the family since the 30s, so we go down to North Wildwood on the weekends, and I don't like sitting on the beach, but I like fishing, and I like visiting my neighbors. It's like living in Philadelphia. The houses are close together, everyone knows one another's business, and we help each other out. And it's our own little community in North Wildwood. When I was in my undergraduate educational experience at Rider University, I was an education major, and I made who's who in colleges and universities in the United States while I was there. And I remember, unfortunately, I had some teachers say, "Oh, you shouldn't go to college. You don't have the capabilities," and that's all I had to hear. And I was also fortunate because unfortunately my father died when I was 14, and we were on social assistance, and so I got my education paid for. I was very blessed, and I said to my social worker, "Why do you do that?" And she says, "Because we don't want to give you a handout, we want to give you a hand up, and someday you'll be paying taxes." And that'll be it. Another achievement was when I worked at General Motors for 33 years, and midway through my career I said to my boss, "What do I need to get a promotion?" and this is 20 years after I had gotten my undergraduate degree at Rider in 1969. He said, "You should get a master's degree." I said, "Okay," and he said, "We'll pay for it." So I got a master's degree at the University of Pennsylvania, and it was quite an honor and a privilege and a great experience to get that master's degree from the University of Pennsylvania. Well, when I retired from General Motors, I wanted to do some teaching. So I started out just substitute teaching for special needs kids. And then I eventually, for the last 9 years, up until about 2 years ago, I was an adjunct professor at Penn State Abington. So with the hearing aids, I was able to do a more effective job as I got older. The hearing started to deteriorate. I could hear my students, and it was very important that I improve the quality of my hearing so that I could pursue my new profession of teaching.